detective. Thrill me.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode. We've finally got there. We've got the four of us in the room together, because that's been rocking horse shit for the last 6 to 8 weeks. But we've also managed to get to the Meg after we talked about it for... That's got a good 4 to 5 weeks.
And broke multiple promises.
Well, I continued to say, it's coming soon.
Yeah, I think we're a better chance of actually finding a Meg ourselves than putting the episode together.
Alright, well look, we've got everyone back. We're going to do a little bit of everything here before we kick off. Maddie, you haven't spoken here for a while, so what have you seen recently?
I don't think I've been missed too much.
You haven't. Continue.
There's been from a lot of the stuff you guys have all seen, but I got to our old friend King Arthur.
Yeah. I'm the only one who hasn't seen it. Is that correct?
I really liked it.
Yes, Matthew. High five.
I thought it was good.
What's wrong with the movie being different?
I don't know what's wrong with it.
I don't know what's wrong
Nothing
with it.
wrong with a movie being different, but it's
Got to be good.
Exactly.
No, but it's good.
No, what I need to do.
I didn't hate it anywhere near as much.
You
as
did say you liked it too.
Yeah.
So Jim.
I don't know if I said I liked it. I said I didn't hate it.
You're bloody paraphrasing it.
That's fine. The whole thing about how it's the worst movie ever created and stuff just didn't fly. It's
I
just
never
different.
expected that.
It's doing its own thing, and that's...
Didn't you?
So I guess I've got to watch it then.
And
Is
I
that
think
correct?
that I think
that's homework for me.
I think it did itself. The only disservice is that it had such a big budget that you were expecting stuff, but I think it did a lot.
It didn't look bad at any point either, though, so...
I went in with pretty low expectations too, so that might have helped. But I mean, watching that's been Catfish has been on in the background in our household. I still don't know how people are getting fooled.
Society's dead, that's
I know
why.
how the internet works. I mean, like, surely everybody else can figure it out. The camera on my computer doesn't work is not an excuse. In 2018, I don't get it.
Can you borrow someone else's iPhone?
Next thing the TV show will be like, I got fooled by a Nigerian prince or something like that. Like, come on, guys, these are not new ideas.
Well, I was just quiet.
I'm still waiting for my dollars to come in.
I was reading something in the paper the other day that some woman got fooled by someone claiming to be The Rock and requiring $25,000.
He does not require any money.
And he put out a sort of a Instagram thing saying, listen.
I don't need your money.
Did she give us some bloke
In the
$25,000?
article it said in brackets, The Rock has over the last 18 months made $70 million. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he's hard up.
I've got no hope for humanity, hey. There's just nothing left. My God.
Maybe she thought he was down on his luck after Skyscraper or something. That's fair.
Just heard our podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. He is down on his luck. He is.
But he's not down on cash.
He might have only seen Skyscraper and fucking Baywatch, and she's like, this guy needs the help. Oh, God, that's such a bad decision. Anyway, sorry, mate. Carry on.
You're right. I watched The Chronicles of Riddick.
He didn't.
Good. Because I hadn't seen another Vin Diesel movie, and
Actually, you've been Vindled.
I went back for more, and he's got the same outfit on, minus the coat, just the black singlet from Triple X.
No.
And he's just put it on in this.
Don't let the yak jacket.
The bad guys are all dressed like Master Shredder as well. I'm like, it was a shit movie.
That's a weird choice.
No, you know what? The worst thing about that is the first Pitch Black was alright.
Yeah.
And then this they went off on some sort of Star Wars kick.
I haven't seen Pitch Black. I might have to go back and watch
Yeah,
it.
the original Pitch Black is really good.
Yeah.
I still don't understand like how bad the sunlight situation is for his race or whatever.
Yeah, well,
but he's got the biggest tan ever.
It's all spray tan, mate. It's straight from the Geordie Shore. Orange in a bottle.
But the problem with it was he decided that with the success of the first one that let's make a universe.
Yeah.
Let's not. Let's not make a universe, Vin.
Do you know, in saying that, the last scene's kind of cool. That's it. That's all I had. for it.
That's a thumbs up.
Yeah, that's don't want to ruin that to the
finished.
fans out there.
Isn't Judy Dench in that?
She is.
Bloody hell.
She's got a decent role. I thought she just did the voiceover.
Honestly, he has come along and just dropped a water catch on the table and
Yeah.
she's gone, yeah, right.
Maybe
I thought that it was.
Maybe Vin got an email from someone claiming to be Judy Dench after
Yeah.
25
Give you a movie role.
It was very much the Sean Connery role from Highlander. She did one day's work, a little bit of a voiceover.
Was she cast as an Italian person or something random instead of because Sean Connery's role in Highlander was not well cast? I know that. I'm Spanish royalty. Oh yeah, is that why he's Scottish?
They didn't try and pass her off as.
Yeah, no, the problem with that one is
Mediterranean.
somebody tried to tell Vin that it was Judy Dench. She was down on her luck. She needed 25k. And he said, "Look, I can't give you the 25k, but I can give you a role in Chronicles of Riddick." And they said, "No, thank you."
Can you play a black man?
What else? I watched Forrest Gump came up on TV.
Yeah. I love that movie.
That's
But
alright.
I tell you what, that won the best picture.
Yeah,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
terrible in retrospect.
Come on, it's quite a good
It's
film,
so
but
easy
it's
to
not
watch.
It's not a
Yeah,
great.
it is, but
You don't realise how sad it is. It's a pretty sad movie.
very sad.
Yes.
And Jenny is a massively abusive person. She's a bad human.
Yeah. It is a good movie. It's just not a best picture.
It shouldn't have won Best Picture.
He has no emotion, right? He's like, so you didn't tell me about a child that was mine for 4 years because you're dying, and now you decided you need
Now
some
you
money
palm
to
him off on
support
me.
the kid.
Yeah, good mum too. Like,
And he's just like, okay, Jenny. any excuse to do a Forrest Gump accent.
The closest I got to that was, funnily enough, I happened to drive past that Ferris Gump bloke that's walking to Sydney in his jocks. That's the closest I got to Forrest Gump this week.
I've not heard of that.
True, I just heard about it. For some reason, he's walking around Australia in his jocks and his gumpets or something. And I'm driving down
raise
there.
money for something?
Is he raising money for himself?
He's just raising money for something, and I'm driving down to
It's the
Sydney.
jeans.
I'm driving down to Sydney.
Even
and here
some
he
booty
is-
shorts.
Here he is propped up on the side of the road texting someone.
Can someone bring me some clothes?
Yeah, it's a bit chilly.
I got sunburnt thighs. This is a bad idea.
Imagine wearing no pants with gumboots, so the chafe you get on your calves.
Oh,
It's not good
he
thinking.
was texting someone, I'm a bit cold, but I forgot to pack me woolly jocks.
He-Man underwear.
I have not heard of that.
What's his
shit.
name?
Ferris Gump.
Ferris Gump or something like that.
Oh,
Save Ferris.
Anyway, back to
What
films.
is going on in the world?
we've already gone on like 26 tangents, guys.
Yeah, okay, back to you.
Yeah, I watched Adam Sandler's stand-up, most of it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some good bits in there.
Yeah, look,
that's the only thing on Netflix that I'll watch with his name attached to it. I don't want to see any of those other movies.
Unfortunately, I've been vindled by his crap.
So you've been sandaled. Haven't we all?
Yeah. Everyone else in this room's been sandaled. There's no doubt about it.
Has anyone done the Father of the Year or whatever it's called? What's the dad one he's in with?
Oh,
David
not with Spade. No, God, no.
God, that looks poor.
But then again, that's what I said about his last film. And then suddenly I watched it. I watched
We'll
it.
give it 2 weeks and Adam will see it. He'll give us a rundown.
It looks bad.
And then we'll probably all watch it too.
Can't be that bad.
I watched Making a Murderer. So the new
How
one.
was that?
Yeah, good.
I'm a bit sort of unsure of
I
how it's
haven't
going to
finished
go
it. I didn't finish it
because it just
but it's-
seems a bit like it. You know,
What else is there?
It's the
that
least
whole
interesting
thing.
part of the last one was all the court shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's just that whole reminder that the system doesn't quite work the way you'd want it to if you were in that situation. But it just seems like there's, like in some departments, they're just like, that's a bad bloke, let's pin a murder on him. And then they're like, he would have probably done something equally as heinous at some point, so they're just like, nah, we're going to get this guy locked away. But
So it's like the pre-crime division from fucking
Minority.
Minority Report. And like, he's going to do something, let's just pin this on him and get him off the
Let's just sort it
streets.
out. Yeah.
It's not really how that works, but
I watched Paradise PD. I watched a big chunk of that.
how is that getting made? Hey?
It can't be expensive to make one of these animated shows.
It's on Netflix, mate.
Yeah.
That's how it's getting made because they are not checking their content.
They're not at all. Like, that's between, like,
They're just going, any old idiot can watch this.
that makes Family Guy and all that stuff, which was so bad or not that long ago, look like Sesame Street. Like, it is just next level.
I like that that they're like banning a poo because he's a racial stereotype.
On The Simpsons.
And then you watch some of these other things, you're just like, sweet Maria.
Yeah.
There's a coked up dog that's in an orgy
and murders all his friends.
Yeah, it's okay. God. But that's what we're watching. It's good.
But it's hilarious.
And I had seen the package as well. I didn't know.
I am going to have to watch.
I was like, it was literally the first thing that popped up, and I was like too tired to make a decision on what to watch.
Yeah, just leave it on.
So I'm like,
So you did not have the strength to move one step away from a story about a guy's cock.
It doesn't tell you that at the start.
Basically a cooler. Right.
What were your thoughts, Matty? Did you enjoy it?
It's not as bad as it's okay.
Let's suck the poison out of this detached penis. It's preferable to actually losing your penis. That's about as best as I can give it.
Just.
You're right, 100% correct though, Gibbo, when you're saying that the girl in that's easily the best.
Oh, she's good.
She's good. She's got.
I've forgotten her name. Genevieve, someone, or
I don't know. She's really good though.
You said she was in Blockers.
She's funny.
Geraldine, someone. It is. Sorry, yeah, I can't remember her last name, but yeah, she's the best part of the Cock Blockers too. So
yeah. She's got some style. Watched Wanderlust with
the
Tony
TV show.
Collette.
Yeah, is that any good?
Well, look, it starts off. It's I guess it's what you'd expect it to be. It's all about affairs, and this sex therapist decides that she's gonna have an open relationship, and it all backfires. And you're just like, yeah, I guess it makes sense.
that's why we do monogamy.
Yeah, you're sitting there watching, going, "Oh man, this is horrible. This is horrible."
No judgment, doesn't work.
You know where it's going to go.
Things can go wrong easily.
And then stayed on the with the Tony Collette thing. I watched Heredity, which I thought was fantastic. So definitely after watching The Witch, which you loved as well, Gibbo, it's right up there with that.
Yeah,
I had a chat to a mate who said that he thought it was pretty average, but I enjoyed
some of the reviews on it being either like, this is amazing, it's like transcendent, and like, this is how horror should be done from here on out, and then other people are like, this is terrible.
You just don't know.
It's not scary, it's nothing. Like,
there's bits that they give you and you know where it's going, but then there's bits of it you're just like, oh fuck, that's great, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And I'll definitely have to get to that one.
Yeah, definitely worth a look. Upgrade as well. Saw that on the plane, which was I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was amazing. Like, good action scenes.
How edited was it on the plane? What was the rating?
What am I comparing to it?
Oh, well, the one I watched was, like, I paid for it on
pretty brutal.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't think. I thought that a lot of stuff on planes was edited, a lot of that stuff.
Probably was.
Well, I guess anyone can get it.
Still pretty sad.
You would not want your little kid stumbling on that when you're having a nap and he's sitting next to you on the plane.
He probably would have watched half of it just across the aisle, like he watched something.
Well, that's the other thing. You do see a lot. Like, yeah, I'd be very surprised if the full version's on a plane.
Yeah.
Because it's brutal.
If it gets worse than that, it's pretty violent.
It is, yeah.
Which isn't bad.
But what do you think? Did you like it?
Look, I don't think. Like, I guess that's the most savage take on dystopia that you can get, like the
an AI.
I don't see it going that way. I find it more people are going to get dumbed down as being more the interesting way to take it. But in terms of an action flick, yeah, it's full on.
It's very.
It's that whole thing. You've got they create a whole bunch of space by being able to switch off the upgrade or switch it back on again, but I guess the big twist at the end is sort of like, I saw that one sort of coming.
Yeah.
You know? But great action in it.
Yeah.
It's just savage. Just beating the crap out of people when he can't even move. It's like, yeah, you go, guy.
I just like the fight choreography. Some of the stuff they came up with, because he's technically like mechanical, like the way he dodges.
The first time he kills someone, he's like, "What the fuck?" His eyes are popping out of his head as he's doing it.
Have either of you guys seen it?
No.
You haven't seen it, Joe?
No.
Okay, definitely check it out.
Unwatched pile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but like I said, it's action's worth watching. I started watching Kidding which was Jim Carrey's show. Yeah. That's a bit odd. It's an oddball.
Well,
that's surprising.
Measure of the man. Fair to say. I think he's gone off the rails, hasn't he, the big fella?
Yeah, we just waved goodbye to Jim. I think.
Yeah.
And my last one is Damned, which is bloody funny. I started watching that one today. It's a comedy series on Stan that's pretty much set in a social worker's office, and it's got Joe Brand in it, which I don't know if you know her. She's like an older English overweight comedian, and she's bloody good. She's so good in it. But it's pretty much The Office, but set in a social working setting. So it's got a bit of that depressing side of life, but they do a good job of like showing. Like the beginning starts with a lot of the phone-in complaints and the things that they're hearing. You're just like, oh man, it's actually really serious, but they show the comedy side of it, I guess.
So she's like a British, like Melissa McCarthy, is she, or that sort of comedy?
She's a bit older. Like there's another show that she wrote and stars in, which I reckon is awesome to watch. You should get onto. It's called Getting On. It's two nurses in an English hospital, and like again, it's that whole depressing side of things, but. I guess you don't see these funny old women in these roles, and she can hold a show by herself. Like I think she's funny she's really good.
Right.
So check that one out.
All right. Before we get into it, we're going to do a little bit of up or down. There was a new trailer for the new Pet Sematary remake. It's directed by a couple of guys who directed a film called Starry Eyes that I think popped up in a lot of top 10 kind of lists and horror and stuff like that over I think it was last year. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's any good.
I haven't heard of it.
It stars Jason Clarke and John Lithgow. The trailer, big thumbs up for me. It had this real creepy vibe. It didn't oversell anything. John Lithgow, I think, is a fantastic choice for Judd. And the film looks like it could be really interesting. They threw in a few unsettling sort of things with the kids walking around banging drums with weird masks on and stuff like that. So it's got that sort of vibe to it. And I'm hoping it kind of goes slightly away from exactly what's in the original version.
Not just a blow-by-blow copy.
But it's definitely a thumbs up for me. Everyone else on board or not?
I'll miss the old man who speaks like...
He's got a mouthful of marbles.
Well, back in my day.
I'll be surprised if Lithgow doesn't do a bit of a spin on that, though. I think he'll try and capture some of that.
Yeah, the accent's gone, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He definitely
That is better.
That was pretty good, Jack.
Deep south.
I'm pretty keen, mate. I really liked the first one. It was one of the main horror movies from when I was younger, and happy to see it get another trade. But they do look like they're going a lot more on the occult side of things.
Yeah.
Really sort of tackling that. So it looks pretty good.
Which is good. I think it's at the very
I think
least
Jason
to take
Clarke's
away
good
from
too.
it. Yes.
He'll definitely be better than the dad in the original.
Yeah.
That guy was terrible. Oh, Jesus.
He was one of the lesser.
The kid acted like the cat was better than him.
All right.
Yeah, it's a definite up from me. I think I agree with Lithgow. Lithgow's a huge up for it. Jason Clarke, bit of a fan. I also see there was little bits where it looked like they might have put a spin on Victor as well.
Yeah.
Like saw the face, and I was thinking, is that going to be, they're going to bring that in some way, which is kind of cool. My big concern is the kid in the original was so good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they're going to... He was just so, like, he was kind of twisted, but he was a good little actor. Like, he was just, so that's going to be difficult.
That's probably, one of the major worries.
I'm a big up. So.
Yeah. It looks really good. That whole genre is sort of advanced, and it's so good to see these Stephen King things getting remade.
Yeah.
You're not going to do one of those big King properties now without the cash, which they were doing a bit more back then. They were just rolling out so many versions of King stuff, some that had the money, a lot that didn't.
Yeah, TV versions.
TV versions.
Yeah.
So does this mean we're going to see like a big budget like The Shining and stuff? Is anyone going to be ballsy enough to try and attack that again?
No, I don't think so. That's probably one of the only ones that won't get redone, because they did that on television, and they basically used a lot more of the book on television. They had more time. And honestly, as far as the actual book goes, the television series is better. The movie is way off.
Yeah.
Like the book and the movie aren't really connected.
Yeah.
Like King hates the Kubrick version.
But as a movie,
it's super shit scary.
Yeah, I'd say
but it's not the same thing.
It'd be one of those ones you'd have to be really confident that you're going to pull something off to have a crack at it, though, because it's a classic.
Yeah.
Like
I can't see them remaking that. That'd be the only one that I think it doesn't get it.
But it's good that, some of the other ones, something like The Stand, you could imagine them doing a big budget version of that on TV now rather than the one that was a little...
I'll tell you what would be an interesting one, and it could be something that goes to TV instead, would be something like Misery. To do Misery again, but do it
But
slightly differently.
how do you do better than Kathy?
Yeah, well, that's it. That might be another one that doesn't get done.
Yeah,
Just
there's
because it was
there's a few there that are right for the picking. I think it was ready because it started to age pretty badly. The look of it and the lack of money.
Stand is definitely one that's probably right
another
there.
one there. There's a whole handful.
Children of the Corn. I wonder what that was.
Children of the Corn.
Well, it depends what they're interested in because there's 7 of them.
Out
There's
sequels.
7 of them. So, all right. Last thing, a little bit of news with the success of Halloween last week, the box office success, and the information about how they've actually unravelled the whole lawsuit of Friday the 13th. The courts went in the writer's favour. LeBron James's production company is actually in talks to do a reboot of Friday the 13th.
Wow.
You like him more and more.
I'll take it any way I can get it. Just another
I mean, look, I'm sceptical about this because me and Jared had this conversation only a couple of weeks ago. They only recently worked out the lawsuit, and the problem that you've got with the lawsuit is it's being appealed, but there's all this crap about how he's got the rights to the American stuff, but then there's all this, who holds the rights internationally on Jason, and then there was this other thing saying he wrote the initial version of Friday the 13th where Jason was a boy.
Yeah.
He potentially doesn't own the rights to Jason as an adult, which is the one that everyone knows.
Yeah.
So I'm sceptical that this is kind of a bit of talk.
Plus, let's wait and see what he does with Space Jam first before we.
Let's wait and see what he does. Let's wait and see if he gets the Lakers into the playoffs before we talk about any of that.
They couldn't guard the 4 of us, I don't think, at this point.
Oh, God.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back and cover The Meg.
Megalodon. He's kidding, right?
The Meg, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX.
The Meg from 2018. It's directed by John Turteltaub, who directed
The Turtle!
National Treasure 1 and 2.
Yes.
Is that what we're calling him now?
The Turtle. Produced by Lorenzo de Bonaventure, who did the Transformers films and G.I. Joe. Rise of the Cobra. God. Belle Avery and Colin Wilson. There's also 13 executive and associate producers listed for this movie.
You can see the work.
Good Lord.
Lucky it made a boatload of cash so they can carve it up.
They'll all be fine.
It's written by Dean Georgaris, who wrote Tomb Raider, Cradle of Life and Paycheck.
Oh!
That's a 1-2 punch of shit, isn't it? And John and Eric Hober, who wrote Battleship and Red. And it's based on a
Red's
novel
good.
by Steve Alton.
Geez, they've had a couple of swings and misses because Red I really
Red
like.
is really good.
Battleship is a turd.
Shit ass. And I read the novel of this. Awful.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Let's make it a movie.
It is. It's ripe. It's perfect for a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the book was B grade schlock, and it was badly written to the boot, but you could see why it would be movie property. It's like Jurassic Park. The people would have just been going, shit.
Big beast.
I mean, this has been floating around for 15 years, I believe.
Yeah.
It stars Jason Statham, it's Jonas Taylor, Dr. Jonas Taylor is on.
Everyone's a doctor in this.
Bing Bing Lee
Lee Bing Bing.
is
Bing Bing Lee. Which one's I don't know
Suyin.
how that works.
Rainn Wilson as Morris and Cliff Curtis as Mac. The budget was $130 million, but
Wise choice, wasn't it?
it has made currently $527 million worldwide.
Rightly so.
Unbelievable! That is huge money.
See my previous comment about humanity.
300 mils must be marketing.
I need to email the
easier
producers and say this is the Rock here. Looking for a handout.
If you guys are doing a sequel, I'll take a upfront payment. Here's my bank account in Nigeria.
And yes, it is me.
Just in case you wonder if this is a hoax, it's not.
Sorry, my webcam's not working.
Yeah, currently my webcam's down. I'll get back in touch with you soon.
I'll send you a picture.
I reckon there's probably $150 million worth of pub
The marketing for it was really good.
But look at that though. That's still $280. They've doubled their all their costs. Shit it in. Yeah. Bit of trivia I found on IMDb, so I'm not 100% sure, but Eli Roth was attached as director. Now, he left due to creative differences, namely that he wanted the film to maintain both its R rating and a $150 million budget. It was also rumoured that Roth, on top of writing and directing, also wanted to play the lead role. The studio believed he did not have the star power.
Correct.
Yeah.
What's the last movie he led? Nothing. No. Yeah.
No, he led something called Aftershock.
Yeah.
It was kind of like an Italian horror film.
It was terrible.
Jared, thoughts?
Right.
Worth the wait?
Okay. I've almost forgotten everything about the movie.
It has been a while, in fairness.
No, look, it was... When me and Maddie watched it, it was an enjoyable enough cinema experience. The movie is... it's ordinary. It's a little bit confused. I felt it was trying to be a couple of different things and didn't really land any of them. But it did entertain me enough. I think I'll probably have it at a 2.5.
2.5. Maddie.
Yeah, I thought it started out really, really strong. Like, I was really enjoying it.
Look, I think strong's probably...
I was like right into it. I was right into it. And then as soon as the Meg came into it, all the mystery was gone. And I think it descended into, like, not knowing what it was. And every time a cringy moment would happen, I'd look across and Jad was cringing as well. So, like, but it's sort of like I think you're right. There was enough in it to make you keep watching, but I'd never want to see it again. 2.5 for me.
I think there was a couple of times where we just looked at each other and we both looked like we'd just been given like the worst Chinese burn.
No, it was like you're at school and somebody had just finished their story with, and it was all a dream. Many cliches in there.
Yeah,
there was just the contorted faces. You're like, oh,
you're doing that again.
So 2.5. Yeah. Gibbo.
2.5.
2.5.
They're very similar to these boys, obviously. I'm actually with Maddie at the start, like how they sort of tried, because the big thing with this for me was how they don't explain how no one's seen this thing the whole time. And I don't know how much of the science actually works with the whole thermocline thing. But at least they came up with something.
That was good enough.
Maybe that's the thing.
That was fine.
Yeah, I just think it was a way to get it across the line.
Yeah, I mean, you had to suspend disbelief, didn't you?
Yeah, but the whole thing with they try and trick you into saying, "Oh, they've killed it." Like, that was never going to work because the movie's not over. So like that stuff, and then it just starts, like Maddie said, it sort of devolves into that. They try and do comedy a bit. They try and do like serious action, serious drama. Try and do the tear-jerking scenes. Just never fucking works.
No, that was a mistake.
Yeah, and some of the actors are bordering on horrific. But other than that, I got some enjoyment out of it. It was fine for what we knew what it was going to be, and it's better than Skyscraper. So 2.5.
Yeah,
I like that we've brought up suspending disbelief in a movie that we've gone into knowing that Jason Statham was playing a doctor.
Yeah.
And a scientist.
And Ruby Rose is playing a genius.
Look, mate, I bought it. What are you talking about? As soon as I saw him, I thought, that guy looks like, that guy looks exactly what I anticipated a PhD and PhD scientist would look like. Look, I like the fact that you brought up Skyscraper, because I saw this and Skyscraper roughly around the same time. I had a real dislike with Skyscraper. I didn't like it, and we were talking about where was the Meg? Was the Meg going to be better than that? It is, but I'm like you, Jared. It doesn't do much right at all. But I just kind of copped it because I felt it at the very least. It didn't play it kind of seriously.
Yeah,
it took nothing seriously, but it didn't find It didn't find a specific tone or style. It just kind of was there.
It didn't grab me.
And yeah, I'm a 2.5 as well. His tongue was planted in his cheek a bit more than Skyscraper.
It just didn't feel like it did as much wrong as Skyscraper did. Skyscraper's missteps were monstrous.
It did a lot wrong.
I felt like it was. This is the thing. It felt like, they got the tongue in the cheek here, and then they do something else, and you'd be like, no, they don't. And then you'd be like,
then they're back to tongue in the cheek.
I felt like they were sitting there going, all right, we need to have a scene where something dramatic happens. Let's just make them go in let's make them go back in.
Yeah.
Like every single time there would be like, there's a boat that's stranded. Oh, let's get our smaller boat out there. And,
I think the other problem too for me
every time.
The other problem too for me was comparing the two. Skyscraper took Die Hard and then tried to play this ridiculous shit that they were peddling as straight.
Yeah.
Whereas the Meg was kind of Jaws, but knew, look, we just need to go into stupidity.
I actually feel like Skyscraper had more clarity on what it wanted to be. It just whiffed so bad. This was probably the more enjoyable watch, even though as a movie it's probably equally as bad.
We're all in agreement that the pinnacle shark movie is Sharknado, right?
It's not.
No, it's obviously. Jaws is the obvious comparison. And
Two-headed shark attack.
Pulls up so far short of that.
This one felt like at times it should have gone full on Piranha 3D, and it didn't. But then it wasn't good enough to be Jaws either, and it couldn't because it didn't have that whole. It's like what Rennie Harlan said. You can't do Jaws because everyone's seen the shark now, and if you don't show the shark, you're just going to be a poor rip-off of Jaws. Yeah. But if you sit in the middle of those two things, what are you anyway? Like
You're a Statham.
You're a Statham. You're like
you're a $500 million worldwide smash hit.
With a sequel on the way. How are they bringing up another shark?
They want a sequel.
Oh, of course they will, mate. 527 worldwide.
Has it been announced?
No, but it's in the workings. Come on. Halloween made its first weekend. They were suddenly talking up a sequel immediately, weren't they?
The first report I heard of a sequel was before Halloween had actually been released, but the projections were so good they were like, let's do it.
Wow.
All right, okay, the likes. I felt that the action sequences and the shark stuff was at least well directed. It grabbed me by the balls a couple of times. That stuff was okay. They got that right. Yeah, they had it pretty spot on. Like they didn't muck any of that up.
Yeah.
Same with the visual effects. I thought most of the visual effects were good. Like the shark looked really good.
CGI sharks could be very patchy,
exceptions. I think the shark was pretty good for the most part. I had a couple of instances that weren't the shark that I listed particularly, but the shark was fine.
The shark CGI stuff has come a long way from Deep Blue Sea and stuff like that. Because in that they just look like they were made out of like they were little dildos being flashed around underneath the ocean. Like it was that bad. Like just silicone. They don't move properly at all. And this one they got like it looks like a shark. But the thing is with a shark that size, it's like with dinosaurs, right? You don't know. Like your mind can't sort of conceptualize that. You see something that big and it's like, no, that can't be right. It just doesn't quite compute.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really tough thing to pull off, but I think they did a pretty good job.
Better than Deep Blue Sea too. If you haven't seen that,
I have seen that. Bull sharks.
Go and see how they get around actually trying to. You don't have a shark in that one, so how do you get around it?
Yeah,
it's just bloody ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bad.
My first like was Cliff Curtis playing a Kiwi.
For the first time in his career.
He's got to be the actor cast as the most different nationalities in history. He can play anything.
He can play anything.
He's been Middle Eastern, he's been
Colombian.
Latino, he's been... Yeah. So I'm thinking he must have just been... When they said to him, Cliff, we've got a role here, you can just use your own accent. He must have just gone, thank fucking God. Thank God.
First time in his entire career. I've got some problems with Cliff.
Not his accent.
No, not his accent though. He's actually spot on there. I've got a high tolerance of Statham.
I'll join you on that island. I love Statham.
I've got Statham tolerance.
He was funny.
I must say, I really did enjoy him. It was only the times when they were talking, as you said, talking about the science and talking... When that stuff came about, I was laughing. But any other time, I'm all for Statham.
Yeah.
He's a good...
And I personally felt the only bit of decent kind of connection between two actors in the entire film was him and the little kid.
Yeah.
The rest of it was just... The rest of them didn't connect at all, but they at least got something out. They drew a little bit out of those two.
Yeah. The little kid was actually pretty decent.
And let's face it, Statham's acting people off the screen. I never thought I'd ever say that, but he is.
It got to a point where it was pretty funny. He'd just be standing there with his arms crossed going, that'll never work. and then he's I'm going to have to save the day again.
But when he was doing that, I was thinking, yes, Jason, please do.
Yes, more. Oh, look, I've never said to anybody in my life, I need more Statham until this film. Like, every time they cut away from the bloke, I was like, get back to Statham.
Don't you jinx him, but we know what you did to Thomas Jane. Jason Statham will just vanish now because you put your stamp of approval on him.
But over-enthusiastic about Thomas and ruined the bloke's career.
I did not ruin his career.
Statham's going to be the car accident.
He has had a solid C grade career thanks to me.
He's had a career about 10 rungs under what you pegged him for. So.
Yeah, but I'm not saying Statham's man of the millennium. I'm just saying I love the bloke. I tolerate him deeply. You blokes seem to have low tolerance for Statham.
I love Statham.
I'm a Statham man.
I've watched a lot of really shit movies because of Statham. Like The Mechanic too. I was so.
Hey, he's still a mechanic too.
Are you serious? You haven't seen it? Oh, because The Mechanic 1 I actually enjoyed because it had was it Ben Foster's guy? Those two were really good. The sequel is horrendous.
Has that got Jessica Alba in it?
Ooh, mate, I honestly blocked it out for the most part. I was so disappointed. I think it might have.
Why did they think there was a sequel to that?
Hard to say.
I mean, that didn't have Meg money, did it?
No, not at all. No. It was kind of a little bit of after the release, it kind of got a bit of legs on DVD, sort of like home movie sort of thing. And
cult
not really a cult following, but kind of. It had a bit of that sort of, we're going off track, but don't watch the second one, fuck.
My personal favourite, like the entire movie, is the bloke inside that inflated ball.
Oh, yeah. When he panics.
But when you first see him, they've got like a GoPro inside.
Yeah.
He is loving life. He's absolutely loving it.
Tell me you wouldn't want to have a crack at that, though. I'm all over that.
And then he turns around, he sees the shark.
Just starts mowing people under. There's one in every crowd.
Of course, the shark eats him and you just see the inside of it go poof.
Yeah.
Jeez, you've jumped well ahead there. I actually had quite a few likes.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the only...
Chime in.
Well, actually, for some reason, I really liked when they revealed the shark with the squid. Yeah, the squid was...
Oh, and then it grabs the
on the
squid.
submarine.
I really liked that. I don't know why. I was just watching. Maybe we were in a dead spot or something. They kind of lifted me out of my stupor. Out of my stupor. But yeah, I didn't mind that. I also liked the doctor who was who was totally against Statham being on board. I liked him apologising. I was thinking this for the start. I was like, this is Dwayne T. Robinson. This is the Dwayne T. Robinson.
Yeah, just going to be a dick.
But then he turned around and he apologised to him.
Yeah.
And I was just taken aback. I was like, fuck. I was expecting this bloke
But how did
I was expecting this bloke to somehow sabotage Statham later in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be a heel the whole time.
Yeah.
But how did Statham respond to that? Because I can't remember. Did he just go, fuck you?
Yeah, he should have just jobbed him.
He didn't take anything.
It was kind of just like a gruff, yeah, thanks. That sort of like, it wasn't, it was no big moment. But
Yeah,
that
but
was
see,
surprising.
I think that sort of also comes back to what you were saying before about not knowing what you wanted to do. Like,
Well,
he was the perfect heel. We should have had him in there doing some heel work.
No, well, this is the thing. They had the heel, but they didn't fucking commit to that either. But I was just, it was a shock that it actually happened. It was one of those things where I was sitting there thinking, this is what's going to happen, and this bloke's going to fuck him up later on, blah, blah, blah.
But then it
And then I was
changed
just
on
like,
you.
oh, shit. They've actually kind of twisted that one. It didn't go anywhere after that. But I got a moment of, oh, okay, well, you've done that to me. So
Well,
now
let's face it,
I'm
mate.
a little bit off balance. I don't know what's going on.
Let's
here.
face it, you know that was a Statham rewrite. Yeah, he would have come in. He would have said, "Look, we need to go a different direction here." Then when it went in that direction, we just needed to peter out and do nothing.
Statham probably walked in there and said, "Look at me. You can't be mad at me forever."
And then he went. He's ripping.
Look at my back muscles. My rolling pelt on the front. It's got such a quality man pelt.
He's in his 50s, isn't he?
No.
51.
Is it? Oh, it was only it was
Get stuck.
because it was the 90s. It was the 90s when I was popping up in the back of those dance music videos.
Oh, that was so
Lemon print jocks cutting out all those dance moves, and that was
51, really?
yeah.
Oh, I would have put him early to mid-40s,
He's
maybe.
11 print jocks. You sure he wasn't walking from Canberra to Sydney recently?
Fucking Hollywood trainers. They got a lot to answer for. Easy. Good
I
show.
know, but that video that you sent me of him dancing in the back of some random...
Yeah, some 90s dance video.
Good God.
heavily inspired by the KLF and people like that. I love that every time a bloke like this, Statham hits 50 or whatever, they get on the cover of Men's Health and they do the big write-up and they go through a day of the diet and everything. They should just be honest and the diet should just say needles.
Needles and chicken sandwiches at 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 a.m.
I eat a chicken sandwich at 2 o'clock and then I get a jab in the ass at 4 o'clock.
Half a sprig of broccoli and some boiled fish. It was delicious. No, it wasn't, Jason.
Yeah, spot on though. They are getting injected with everything under the sun.
You mentioned the action scenes, and I got another one that was kind of silly, but I enjoyed it for what it was when Statham's on the bloody rope, and the thing goes away, and it's like they do this play on like he's fishing almost.
Yeah,
he's getting dragged along.
Yeah.
For some reason, I found that really funny. I thought that was a good entertaining couple of minutes there.
What do you think? You should have set the drag a bit lower? Maybe let us take out some lines here to get a bit tired.
Yeah, and then it's something else.
He's got no idea how to fish this bloke.
He didn't wrestle it for long enough.
Wrong tackle. Should have been strapped into a chair. Oh, mate.
He needed the old beer can on the end of the line.
Yeah. Oh, we've got one.
I've got something on the end.
They should have shot some barrels into it like they did with Jaws. See what it took to take it under, be like a battleship or something. Like just hit it to it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, your dad used to pull that out, didn't he, the beer can? He used to be pissed though, so the beer can would fall
It
out.
wasn't deliberate.
The only problem is, there'd be a beer can on the fishing line, but there'd be 3 or 4 around the chair telling you to tink. Oh, we got something. Oh, no, we don't.
Gary just fell off his chair.
Have you got any more? Because I've got a few.
Yeah, keep going.
Go.
You remember this more than we do.
I had the bit when the shark was going to town on the beachgoers and the rubber ball.
Yeah.
It was up and down, but there was parts of that I enjoyed. I think they should have gone much further with it, but there was a couple of parts.
Could have
where
eaten a
just
fat kid. Come on.
They really should have upped the ante. Violence-wise with it.
The R rating would have helped, I think.
It would have cut you 527 million down to about 300 million, though.
Yeah, that's true. They made the right call, but for the movie, I think it would have been better if it was R.
Well, yeah. It made more sense.
Less dollars, though.
Yeah.
As quips go, chew on this, you ugly bastard. That was okay by me. Straight down the line, didn't try to be more than it.
Look at you jumping on the Statham wagon as we speak.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the of Dog Soldiers.
Oh, yeah. I'll get choked on this.
But yeah.
Fucking Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers.
What a
Love
movie.
that movie.
What a movie.
Love it.
Sausages.
Love it.
So good.
I think that was it. I didn't mind the ending in general. Like, you were talking about the scale of it and stuff like that. When Statham's fucking hanging off its head.
Yeah.
That was one of the few times where you were like, because he was actually on the fucking thing, you got a sense of how big it was, and it was kind of scary that he was like, you see Statham like hanging off it, and he's just the tiniest little thing against this massive like giant head and this huge eye looking at him. That was one of the few times you got that sense of scale, and you were kind of like, oh shit, it's a big bastard, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so yeah, I didn't mind the ending for that.
I've got no more likes.
No.
I don't know. They'll pop into my consciousness as we go.
You're looking to come right in now as the dislikes roll out.
Dislikes,
Yeah, there's a lot more of those.
The acting is just atrocious. It is like
Very bad.
other than Statham, who, let's face it, he's just playing himself. The rest of them are just shocking.
Well,
Like,
the
they
little
are.
kid I didn't mind as well.
Yeah, the little kid's okay, but Rainn Wilson is a non-event.
Awful.
Cliff Curtis, he gets his accent back, but he loses his talent.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line.
He's putting a voice on.
He
to get
seems to be
back
just
in.
phoning it in like you wouldn't believe.
He's phoning it in, but even then, his acting ability is on show. He's just kind of walking in and just kind of going, "Hi, I'm Cliff Curtis. Here I am," and then just leaving. Like he doesn't seem to raise the voice levels at all. Like, but yeah, it's overall,
But the
Rainn Wilson was just totally wasted because I kind of like him.
Yeah.
Just totally wasted because I don't think they knew what was going on with that character.
Yep.
Ruby Rose, I'm sorry, she's just not an actor.
No.
I don't dislike Ruby Rose at all, and I'm really happy to see an Aussie succeeding like she is.
Yeah.
But she's not an actor.
No.
She's pretty much
Just to clarify,
made a career on being skinny and having tattoos.
Yeah, just to clarify for people outside Australia, she didn't act in anything over here. She was a friggin' MTV
host thing and
DJ.
model.
And then she gets over there and she's an actor. I don't know what happened. Like,
well, she's
'cause
smoky,
she's not.
smoky, good looking, and that's enough apparently.
yeah,
But
well, that's the thing.
in saying that, vaguely in her defence, because I'm with you, she's not an actor.
No.
But better actors with better resumes are putting in shit-ass performances in this movie. Mr. Turtletub, I don't think was paying a lot of attention to what's going on with the actors.
She probably didn't have a lot to work with, to be honest, but in the casting...
Well, she had nothing to work with.
Yeah.
Who was her character? She was nothing.
Yeah. I am the person that makes computers happen.
And basically all she ever
Why
does...
do they need a hacker on this boat anyway?
She designed the system.
Yeah,
boat.
She designed the system that runs
but the
Manor
only
Line.
thing she ever does is talk about how the shark came up from the trench.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember her talking about with any depth. How it came through, which is total shit. How it came through. Not one, but two of them came through it.
Well, actually, there's probably going to be more if there's a sequel. Maybe there was actually 5 of them.
There's
came
5 or
through.
6.
And they're bigger.
And each one was bigger.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
There was some holes with they can't track where this giant shark is. They've got the technology to be able to sort this shit out. And
Yeah.
Well, you
they
don't
can
need
shoot it
technology.
dead.
You fucking have a look down.
There's
There it is.
Sonar. It's been around for a while.
Oh shit!
gonna
There
say,
it is.
It's that big black spot on the side.
That's dragging a massive wave with it.
Can't you get those little things on your dinghy that you put on there that can tell you when a fucking fish is
Yeah, fish
around?
finder.
So how the fuck can you not find a meg?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, I'm sure
I think
we
its
can do
swim
something.
blade is big enough.
Yeah.
It'll probably come up on a fish finder. Yeah.
I just felt like a lot of the premise of as soon as it had gotten through the what is it? The
Thermocline.
Thermocline, yeah. I was going to say
Hydrogen
thermocline.
sulfide, Matty. Come on, mate. Science.
You're right. Yeah, I know.
You did some research.
But but as soon as that happened, after that happened, I was like, all right, this is going to be that's out of their hands. Like I just felt like it was. I know they're trying to save. Once they saved the people in the boat, they would have been out of there, and that's the end of the story for them. So then dealing with the Meg, I don't know. Statham, is he an expert in Megs?
But again,
He's an expert in everything.
no,
He's a fucking PhD, Matt.
his idea was he'd seen one previously. Is that not correct?
No, he was in a submarine when
Yeah.
it got caved in and he escaped. And he,
Yes.
yeah.
But he thinks that a Meg was what caused the caving.
I don't think he mentioned a Meg at any point. He said there was a giant sea creature had caused the drama. And so,
Pretty sure, yeah, there was definitely, he had seen something. I don't know whether it was as specific as the Meg, but it was definitely, there was something there and you guys aren't.
he just said something caved in the side of the submarine.
Yeah.
And it was a creature. It was attacking.
Speaking of the effects, Adam, you mentioned the effects were pretty good. Notable exception was that submarine crumpling.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looked fucking terrible. And secondly,
That's what $130 million was.
Secondly, that doctor, I said that I really liked him turning around and changing his tune, but initially they made it so clear with that giant fucking explosion seconds after Statham gets
he was
into the
100%
sub.
right.
He was 100% right, and the bloke's like, "What have you done?
You're a monster.
I'm just there going, he fucking just saved you, mate. It's clear what he's
They
just
said they
done.
were going to be minutes, and it was like literally 3 seconds after the hatch closes.
Yeah.
That made no sense.
So that was a bit hard to cop.
He should have turned around and gone, "Fuck, sorry, mate, you were right."
Yeah, and I think it was the effects again. Like that scene probably wouldn't have worked so bad if you'd been mostly inside the sub with Statham. But the fact that you see that gigantic fucking explosion kind of oversells things a little bit. That.
As I said, the science in this film is... I don't think it's any of it's
You don't think it
legit.
stands up?
You just got to say, "Yeah, no worries, thanks very much, you tried."
look,
That's all you
some
gotta do.
sort of science.
And just go with it.
But every time they started talking, as I was watching the film, they started talking about scientific stuff. I just drift off with, what am I having for lunch, or when's this movie going to be over? It just none of it held me. So at no point did they sell any of that stuff. And to make matters worse, the dialogue in general was shit ass. So there was barely anything worth commenting on, except what you said with Statham's kind of quip at the end is the only thing that kind of resonates in any
It
way.
wasn't very good.
It wasn't good. It's
just an
so
idiot.
bad. It's good. Yeah.
I still can't figure out how Statham, like, was living the life, his bintang singlet or whatever it is, and like drinking beers in the like mid-morning, but he's ripped as fuck and can still do. He's the only person in the world who they have to fly to Thailand or wherever it is.
All these people are stuck in the bottom of the ocean while they're faffing around trying to find this.
Well, like it'll take a few hours for us to fly over there, talk to him, and get him back.
Yeah.
Like,
Which trainer is getting you ripped like that after drinking piss all day long?
that's right.
Dr. Syringe, I think.
But then it's like they could have just called. They could have called. All right, mate. Your ex-wife's at the bottom of the ocean, and you're the only person that can help.
What's that? You've been drinking since 8 o'clock.
We've got a private jet ready for you. Come out.
Yeah, I would have thought. Just come on the plane with us. We've got a fully stocked bar. Just about having on there, given the state he was in.
The other thing is, if he's supposed
Yeah, but if it wasn't filled with lowered brow, he's not getting on, mate.
if he's possibly got this PTSD thing that they thought that he had, where he had, I think they were trying to say that he got like the oxygen narcosis or whatever it's called.
The bends or whatever.
Yeah, it's all kind of same sort of thing. And they're saying, he snapped and lost it. How is he the guy you go to?
Yeah.
And if he's got PTSD, is he not a risk to send down there into the same situation that he supposedly snapped in?
With the doctor that you are paying large sums of money to run your thing saying, do not touch the guy, he's a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
That's our man.
But
the only one that can help.
You're probably wrong. We're going to go with this.
But also, you've pointed out to me after, I have had some holes in my recollection of this film, but he didn't actually see a Meg the first time.
No.
He believed something was there.
Yeah.
So what's his authorities on all this? What's he got?
He could dive. He could dive to the lowest. Like he was the best potential diver. Like he'd been to the lowest point.
Now that he was a piss wreck, he could bring.
That was the other. That was a big loop, like a big hole in it as well. They did that thing where he had all this pressure, was going down too quick, and he's like, "No, I'll be fine. His nose starts bleeding, and then all of a sudden he's like at the submarine.
Never comes up again.
Don't worry about the beds, mate. He's veins are full of alcohol.
I'm just going to ignore them. I'll be fine. Actually, you've got air bubbles in your blood and you're dead.
Yeah. That was ridiculous.
How do we fix that?
They'd stuffed up the editing or something at that point.
Yeah.
Look, this movie's a patchwork, though. If you look pretty closely at it, it's been ripped to shit, I would say. Because things don't make sense. They, as you pointed out, the guy apologised and then 5 minutes later he walks off. That's it. We've had it with him.
On the believability front too, once they first have the encounter with the Meg, and then they're like, these are the ideas we've got, let's go back into... Like, no one is getting back in the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't care if you're
It just took a boat out. Let's go out on our boat.
3 boats have gone down. That's the Meg. The very next shot is them on a boat.
Yeah.
We started laughing about it.
I just lost it. I absolutely lost it.
And it wasn't a big boat. No, it's just like a fishing yacht. Like, it's like, guys...
That was another
battleship or something.
They had a chopper in the same fucking collection of scenes. There's a chopper.
How many times can we get a chopper scene where they fly down to where they're within risk of whatever creature is in the movie too? Yeah. Choppers can go into the sky.
Yeah. Stay out of reach, bugger.
Let's get down a close look at the water.
I need to have a closer look at this massive fucking Meg. I can't see it.
He's going to eat us.
No, but the thing too is, wouldn't you just put a little bit of a, all Coast Guard warty, gigantic sea creature currently in there? Let's just get
no, because remember they say, they wouldn't believe
They didn't alert.
They wouldn't believe us.
Yeah, that was so bad.
They explained it.
When Rainn Wilson's character does say that he did that, he was actually lying as well because he didn't want to have the exposure for his company. That's how they sort of waved that away.
He wasn't that bad a villain to receive.
Well, that's part of his problem. They didn't commit to anything for him. He was supposed to be your sort of your human villain. Then you got the shark as the big bad. But he
wasn't that bad.
One minute he's trying to crack jokes. The next minute he's getting this emotional speech where he talks about how your friends have died and everything like that. And
can I say the line? Because it was another notable exception of really bad writing. I came here to celebrate with you and now I'm mourning with you.
Yeah.
I was just like... Did he just actually say that? Like in a Hollywood movie with $150 million?
Couldn't do any better than that, eh, guys?
That's what we got.
Tick that box.
But Matty nailed it with him. Like I was just sitting there looking at him, going, "I'm not sure what's happening." And Matty just said he needed to be like over the top, almost twirling mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he did. I think that's where, because it couldn't commit one way or the other, I think it would have worked better with him being able to have a bit of that comedy aspect to it and be able to be a real over-the-top, nasty bastard.
Yeah, have a proper
I
time.
think that would have worked far better.
I've got billions of dollars. I'm going to invest in something that can kill a Meg. Or that can catch a Meg. I don't know. Like, he's a multi...
Yeah, but what would his angle have been?
I'm going to preserve this, and then we're going to use this in science to...
But that's what they've done for plenty of other of those villains, and it really didn't matter. That's okay.
Because all it was him to screw up the hero's chances of destroying it.
Yeah.
One of my big problems was didn't feel you needed two sharks. You needed one to come up. That's it.
Yeah, and once they could
big...
sell the changeover, like the first one was never the shark. It was so obvious.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, you need to make it believable that it might be the actual.
Well, the first one comes up as a big unit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, obviously that's fine too.
I mean, this was how long was this movie? 200 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was a bit longer than that.
Longer.
Mate, this is a 90-minute. This is a 90-minute, 95-minute.
We say that too often with it.
Well, but it's true though. It's Hollywood.
It's nearly 2 hours.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Hollywood thinks that we're paying $130 million for this. We need to give you bang for your buck.
Paying per minute.
We need to give you 2 hours.
It's an hour 53.
No way. You don't need 2 hours because part of the problem was you had the two sharks. So you tack on all this crap about the little shark.
I had to have
catch.
the twist. They had to have the twist in there to make you feel
but
like
the
it was
twist
a real
was
movie.
useless.
Plus, they wanted the scene where the big shark jumps
it
over
leaps
the
up
boat.
out of the
As
water.
Gino said, they put so much so early with the other shark that you knew
How big it was.
that it was, and that once they cleaned that up, it was just like, it's far too early in the movie.
Yeah.
So,
It's never going to work as a bait and switch. It's not believable.
it was a hard sell.
I pictured throughout this whole movie, like Steve Irwin watching it and going, sharks aren't this. They don't just turn up because there's a boat there. This thing was like shadowing every single move.
Really upset.
Yeah, it was just shadowing every single move that these guys did. Like Rainn Wilson had gotten on a boat and left the scene, and it still chased him down. It killed a whale, ate that, and then got him as well.
Yeah.
Just it's sort of the omnipresent shark that's just haunting these people. It became a little less believable, and I like.
But the biggest thing for me was you had to commit to the gore. Like, to me, it had to be an absolute gore fest. Like, that thing should have been ripping a swath through. Yeah. When it hit the beach, it needed to take out a shitload of people.
Yeah.
It should have gone full tilt with that. And that was the beach scene just fell apart when they introduced the kid with the ice cream. And I'm like, what's this all about? And then we're supposed to feel this attachment to this fucking...
bumbling little twit. Yeah.
And
because he's got an ice block.
And then when he's saved, I'm just sitting there going, right, so we're supposed to be happy about that, and that, the shark ate only like 73 people instead of fucking 83. Like, it should have just gone full tilt and ripped, as you said.
Well, the shark should have come. It shouldn't have been that swimming under him. It should have come up and just gone like full, eating the whole crowd, blood going everywhere.
Come out of the water and just with a big bloody mouthful of half a dozen people.
And it seemed like in the trailer,
arms and legs flying.
Half a dozen. How about 10 dozen?
You know what though? You didn't need any. You could have left it goreless until that sequence and just really hit the audience hard.
And have a look at this.
And it looked like that's what it was going to do in the trailer. When I saw that, I got a little bit of piranha in that.
Yeah, when they're all in the tubes and stuff and stuff.
I thought for a second you were going to say when you saw that you got a little bit excited. But then I realised what we were watching, and then you never got excited.
Yeah, so it should have gone. I think for that scene, it should have gone full tilt and just really laid it on. And
that was enough. Like, that sequence had a lot of problems because A, it didn't go far enough. B, it had that bullshit about the little kid, where, as you say, that you need to sort of get invested with him, but you don't even know him. He's nobody. And then, I knew the guy inside the bloody rubber ball better than that kid.
Yeah. And you were more invested with him too.
Yeah, well, I love that bloke.
He's having fun. He's enjoying life.
Look at his arc. He was loving life one minute, and he was bloody eating in one bloody bite. But the other problem with it was the scale. You couldn't pick up. You've got a shark that I don't know how big the thing's supposed to be, but it's pretty
25 metres it's supposed to be.
That's big, right? It's close to the. You would have to be 60 to 70 metres out
Yeah.
to not see that swimming underneath you.
You still would.
But they've
it's
got it basically moving within the shoreline with rocks and stuff around, and it's like, so how's it? What is it? Slipping through these little crevices and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It blew the whole idea of how big it was. One minute it was super huge, the next minute it didn't look quite as big because they had it close to the shore.
A lot of these movies, like Pacific Rim, all these things, they all have the same issue with scale and not being consistent. Kong Skull Island, Rampage, all had the same problem. Where you look at it 1 minute and it's snatching a helicopter out, and then the next minute there's a person standing next to it and it's not that much bigger. Like these, it must be really hard to get it right, but it stands out. Like when seen like that, there's just no way that shark could be where it was without being out of the water by half.
Yeah,
it's just dumb.
It would have been beached.
It's like, as you say, with a movie like this, we're taking a lot. We're going to cop a lot. When you see something like that, you can't.
No.
It's just so incredibly stupid that you just like it's so dumb. And then you didn't ramp up the gore, which maybe might have made me think, I don't care about the scale. They just did a really cool scene there where a lot of action, didn't do that.
Well, you would have got people, mate. You would have got people if you'd have held back on gore and then delivered big time there. You would have got people going, holy shit, what
it needed to be a climax.
And then they waste a whole bunch of time on this fucking love story that would never, ever, 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 ever happen.
Yeah.
Hang on, why are we in this situation?
So is he
trying to pick up
with his shirt off?
Well,
how are they supposed to resist him?
Well, the man rug on his chest. He's combing ladies out of that.
And the other
that whole relationship thing between them two, ridiculous. But then he had his ex-wife on the side.
Yeah, and that was sort of rekindled.
And that was kind of being rekindled. I didn't get the because 1 minute he looked like he was pretty keen on the female scientist. Then he's talking to his wife, and that seems like that started to happen.
The whole movie,
kind of schizophrenic, mate.
Let's be clear. They were both interested.
He's just moving to Utah.
And I'm sure one of the dudes went down in the submarine in the first scene as well.
Speaking of dislikes, I forgot those two. The two dudes in the
with their bromance.
Honestly, I think Maddie cracked up again because,
you were
after 10
so
seconds
hard.
of those two, I just said to him, these two are just the worst. Worst.
They reminded me of the two little Transformers from, what was it, Transformers 3 maybe or something?
Transformers 2, I think, was the one.
They had those wisecracking little...
God.
No,
He had a terrible line delivery too, the big unit out of those two.
Was he called the Wall? Is that the guy?
I wanted him to get eaten so bad.
And he goes,
we never actually see it either.
that fossil ate my friend, and the line delivery was just so bad.
Yeah.
I was
hamming it up.
groaning every time either of those guys was on screen.
I mentioned Rampage a little while ago, and when that happened, everyone was wondering if The Rock was going to somehow manage to fight these things. And I heard in a podcast they were saying they thought he might get the serum and end up going big and actually having a battle, because otherwise why would you bother having The Rock?
Power Rangers.
He was kind of inept at the end of it. He was just like running around while the gorilla did everything. This one went the other way, where Statham's in the water with the shark and going hand to hand with it, and it's a tough sell. Like,
That would have been
you
good.
do it with a harpoon. Now the shark's fucked. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
It would have been good if he punched it in the nose and it swam off.
All the rumors are true. Punch it in the lateral line. Away it goes. It's hard to see. Like you can see why they didn't go there with the Rock, but they could have. Whereas this one, he's just a human in there with a 25-meter shark and stabs it, and then other sharks eat it, and it's. I don't know. I don't know how well that works.
No, it didn't work.
And he gouging it with the wing of his little manta ray submarine thing.
Yeah, that was.
Or even though I felt that they at least, again, all that stuff was directed okay, but that stuff was so silly where he was in his little, and the shark grabs hold of it, and I'm thinking
that Elon Musk
that
submarine?
thing is just going.
It did it to a submarine, but it can't pop this little fucking Yeah, very, very big problems with that whole sequence.
Other dislikes?
I think that's about it for me.
Every character.
Oh, actually, just with the accents. Well, obviously, I've already mentioned Ruby Rose, but why on earth do we have her oscillating between an Australian and an American accent.
Why can't you just be an Australian computer person?
Well,
they had
computers in Australia.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we don't have good internet. The NBN's not allowing us to
Hey, proper NBN, it's really going to pay off. Great investment.
But that...
Mate, my NBN's flying like it would.
What are you on, 6 megs? Get out of here.
Yeah.
It's all happening down here.
The thing with her is Cliff Curtis is a Kiwi. So why can't we just let her speak?
And it was supposed to be kind of like a
worldly
crew. Yeah, a worldly crew, because you had a few different people from different countries.
They wanted you to focus on that, so it takes away from the continuity of the actual Meg itself.
Yeah, probably.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
That was my specifics anyway.
Is that everyone?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's me. There's more I could go on.
I think we could go a little harder.
Don't need to lay the slipper in too much.
No.
But that is the Meg, finally. If you want to get in contact with us, send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, at Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com, or on Instagram at Thrill Me Podcast. The next episode, we're actually going to give you 2 this week. We're going to have one released on Halloween, and it is going to be the new 2018 Halloween film. But until then, take it easy, and we'll catch up with everyone later. Cheers.
Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.